and welcome to Real Watchers Movie Club. My name is Garrett.
And I'm Kevin.
And we are your hosts. Movie Club is a show where we pick a movie every week and discuss it just like a book club. On today's show, we are covering the sci-fi horror film, The Mist. Our thoughts and more coming up on Movie Club. Released in 2006, The Mist was directed by Frank Darabont and stars Thomas Jane, Laurie Holden, and Toby Jones. After a violent storm, a dense cloud of mist envelops a small Maine town, trapping David Drayton and his 5-year-old son in a local grocery store with the other local residents. They soon discover that the mist conceals deadly horrors that threaten their lives and, worse, their sanity. The film currently has a 3.4 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Before we dive into our thoughts, though, we do want to issue a spoiler warning for this movie. There is quite a big spoiler at the end of this movie that we do not want to ruin for you if you've never seen it. So make sure if you want to watch the film, go check it out first. It's available to stream on a couple different places, like I think Paramount and Peacock is on there. But stay tuned to the end of the show to find out what our last spooky month movie is next month, because it's we've kind of done a different genre every week, kind of, and this is going to be a real nice change of pace. Alrighty, Kevin. So this week is The Mist. Why the hell did you pick it? And that's not me telegraphing what I think. I'm just asking. I was just trying to liven it up a little bit.
No, because I saw your score, so it's okay. But I really enjoyed this movie, and I picked it because I've heard nothing but good things, and I did not know the ending of this movie, so I never got spoiled on it or anything like that. So I wanted to see why everybody was so like, oh my gosh, about the ending of this movie, and that's why I picked it. And it's because it's spooky month. Is this a remake or is this?
No, it's based off of a book by Stephen King.
Okay, that's what I thought it is. Okay, but so that's why I picked it.
All right, yeah. I picked this movie just because I don't know why I said that. I watched this movie not when it came out. I was too young to see this in theaters. But I watched this pretty soon afterward because I think I bought the DVD because there was like an unrated extended edition or something, and I wanted to be cool because it was a movie that everyone was like, "Oh, this movie's like creepy," you know, and I was like, "I gotta watch it." And I enjoyed it more when I was a kid, I think, because I really liked the monster aspects of it. Now, as an adult, though, I do have some issues with it. Nothing like too groundbreaking. I still think that it is an enjoyable movie, and it is very different from Frank Darabont's other Stephen King movies, like The Green Mile and Shawshank Redemption, which are the two movies that he did. So it's quite a change. But before we dive any further, another spoiler warning. We are going to ruin this movie if you've never seen it before. So please, take that into account. But let's go ahead and dive into it. So this was your pick. Let's go ahead and start out with you. What did you think about this?
I really enjoyed this movie because of the characters inside of the grocery store going at each other. Not necessarily the monster itself outside, which we'll get to that in another section. But I really like the butting of heads when this first starts with Miss Carmody. I don't know. I forget how to say her name.
Mrs. Carmody.
Mrs. Carmody and David, and how they have two different sides of the story, if that makes sense. You have a very religious person, and then you also have a very just forward-thinking person. And he sees things, she does not see things, so she thinks it is all part of the it's a biblical reason why the mist is happening. And then you get to see everybody kind of turn their face towards the biblical side of this. And I really enjoyed that because you don't really see, you see everybody already start off as like being very religious about it. Like you see it in The Conjuring and stuff like that. But this time it flips it on its end, as in the characters become like kind of a religious thing in the grocery store. And it's really good and bad at the same time, because her character comes off as kind of freaky at first, and then when everything starts to go right, you're kind of like, oh, maybe she is correct, and then she goes a little bit too far, and that's when everything starts to hit the fan and everything. But the actress that plays her does such a good job of you hating her as well. So that's where everything comes down to.
Yeah, and I think that she is the best performance in the movie, hands down.
Yes.
As like she is easily the most hateable character I think in a movie I've seen recently, but she is definitely, you know, it's a very, very good performance. I think that she's really the only performance that stands out to me.
Yeah.
I think Thomas Jane as David, I believe is the main character's name,
Yeah.
is a little too blank slatey. You know, he's like, here's your token white guy that everyone can just project themselves onto. But you know, but I think that like what I really like about this movie is that it is, you know, it is supposed to be this dark and realistic depiction of how humanity would act in this type of situation. Just like I did on the recent live stream when talking about 28 Days Later, right? You've got your gung-ho types, you've got your fanatics, you've got your people of action. And then you've got people who think logically, you've got people who think stupidly, and then you have some that just follow others because they find comfort in or whatever. It's the brilliant microcosm of humanity in a crisis situation. However, that's the best part of this movie.
Okay.
For me, I think this film focuses too much on the creatures in the mist.
I agree with you.
I would have liked to have seen them. Honestly, in my head, right? Perfect situation. We see the tentacle creature in the loading bay, like takes the guy out, but you never see another monster.
See, I wrote in my review, I wish there was less monsters in this movie, because what if we didn't know what was in the mist? We never saw what was in the mist, and then you get that ending. I'm not going to spoil the ending, but you get that ending in the mist with that huge creature, and you're like, oh my gosh, that what was in the mist?
Yeah. Like
kind of a situation like that. Like, I don't care for the tentacles because the CGI in this movie is absolutely dog shit terrible. But it's, if they would have shown less of it, like the guy running into the grocery store was perfect. It didn't show anything. He's just bleeding, and he can't explain what's happening. Now, if David, the main character, went to the back of the generator when that happens, and the tentacle kind of slides underneath the door and then slides out really quick, no one else saw it. He just saw it.
Exactly.
So who's gonna
That's
believe
what I'm
him?
saying. That's why I'm saying that just that one little one that gives us, the audience, like, no, this isn't bullshit. But he's not going to be believed, right? That would have been far more interesting. Instead, we just get a bunch of like creature feature sequences where when they are practical, it looks good.
Yes.
Like the tentacles, when they're practical, look great. The you know, and the other creatures and stuff. But like, you know, if this, I didn't need to see a creature attack every 10-15 minutes.
No,
you know, I didn't like that. I know you got to weed out, you got to have some deaths to make it exciting. It's a Stephen King movie. This isn't like, you know,
but you could have done it with the characters in the grocery store. Think about like you have Mrs. Carmody be like, this is a religious thing. You could have like a mythos person that really believes in Bigfoot or something like that, and starts to bring up all of these types of situations and stuff like that. But you don't get to see what the hell it is until the end. That's what makes it the most scariest thing. You could have people coming from the pharmacy to the grocery store, being attacked and everything like that. But again, you still don't see the creature. You're like, that is the scariest part is the mist, and unfortunately the mist gets kind of it gets in the background because of these creatures.
Yeah, exactly. So I do have a bone to pick with that whole pharmacy sequence though.
Okay.
I don't like spiders, man.
I didn't know that those were in there. So I
no. I've seen this movie before, so I knew it was coming, but I still don't like it. It's horrifying.
I was watching the movie and I saw the spiders. I was like, oh my gosh, Garrett's gonna kill me because I had no idea that was in there. But I mean,
no, I've seen the movie before. I've read the novella that this is based off of. Like, I knew it was coming. Like, and I was like, maybe I can watch it this time. No. Still through fingers. Yeah. But like, the visual effects have not aged that well in this movie.
No.
But that's not surprising. I mean, the budget didn't really go into. They went into it. I remember, like, at the time, it looked good, right? Yeah. But it just hasn't aged well. But like, you know, I just think that, like, again, if it wasn't so focused on the creatures, you could have used that budget to hire maybe some more actors besides Mrs. Carmody. Marcia Gay Harden's incredible, but like you could have hired some higher quality actors to play these characters, and I think that it would have been far more interesting.
You don't have to spend all your budget on the CG creatures.
Exactly.
The mist is the creature.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different ways you could also read into this movie. Like, because on one hand, I think we both see this as, a depiction of how humanity would act. The different pockets of humanity being in one location, it's a microcosm. I think we can both agree on that. I do also think that this is a indictment, or also like not a parody, but like this is, it is indicting people who lead through fear and lead through control. I'm not going to say that this is a critique of religious people, because I don't necessarily think that's the angle it's going for. But she just happens to be religious, and she just is the one that's in power, right? She and like it all comes to a head at that scene where they kill the soldier.
Yes.
Which is so disturbing to me, because that feels like we are like 2 years away from that happening here in the United States, right?
It's just everybody was on board with it, even though one person was saying what to do. And it's very it's very dictatorship-y wise, right? I want to say
authoritarian.
Authoritarian. And even her calling, we need to sacrifice the kid, and it's like, whoa, like, why do we need to do that? There's no reason to do that, because we don't know what we're going up against. But everybody was on board for it too. Everybody was like, yeah, let's do it. We have nothing to lose at this point and stuff. So,
and it's like I'm not a Christian. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of Christians, but I will tell you that woman is not Christian. Like, she is using that as a front for her own power, which I think is a brilliant way of handling that, which I think is really cool. But we got to change gears a little bit here, Kevin. We have to talk about, by far, the most controversial part of this entire movie. We have to talk about the ending.
Do you think it's controversial, or do you think that is a great ending?
Well, no, it is controversial in the fact, like, it's factual. It is controversial because you either love it or you hate it.
Yes.
Like, that is right. Like, there's no real middle ground as far as I can tell.
Okay.
For me, I think it's one of my favorite endings.
It's very, and I'm saying this, it surprised me. The ending surprised me in a fantastic way. Like, again, I didn't know of the ending. I just knew it was a great ending. So I was trying to, figure out everything while the movie was going. I did not see that ending coming at all. Like, period, end of story. When you, again, spoiler alert, like, I'm gonna say it one more time, but when he basically kills everybody in the car, and then he gets out, and then the mist just starts to dissipate, and the soldiers come in, and you're like,
well, I'm forgetting. Was he the one that pulled the trigger on everyone?
It doesn't say. They don't really show it.
I was going to say, I thought it was he would either do it or they could do it themselves or something. But I don't remember.
They don't.
Maybe I'm thinking of the unrated one, but like I'm misremembering. But no, I love this because, and I hate when people. I don't like it when people hate on this ending, and let me explain why. Because people only have an issue with this ending because as soon as they do everything, and he's upset that he can't, right? There is no possible way that he or any of them knew that the military was right behind them.
No.
There is no way. You're only mad about it as the viewer because you didn't know about it, and you have that mentality of, oh, they could have been fine. But that's not how it works in reality. Every single one of us makes rash decisions when we are on the cusp of something. How many times, Kevin, have you done something where you're like, oh, I should really think about this. I'm going to do this. And then like something in your life happens that makes it the opposite. And you're like, well, I wish I would have known, you all the damn time. But this is a heightened version of that. If you're in a vehicle that you have never driven before, you did not have time to fill it up. This isn't like a perfect post-apocalyptic situation where you had tanks of gas lying around. You had whatever was in that car, and then whatever after that, you're fucked, right?
Yeah.
So you run out of gas in the middle of the goddamn mist. You feel that fucking huge kaiju walk around you. It lifts the car with how much you're bouncing, right? This... You're gonna do the same thing.
Yeah.
You're stuck. Are you gonna leave the car with everything that's out there?
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
Why would you let something kill you when you could do like the more honorable thing? Like, I can tell you right now, if I'm in fuck, dude, I've already faced depression. I've dealt with suicidal thoughts. It's like you're gonna do this. You are like you're out of gas. You're in the middle of this hellish environment. You are going to do what they did.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to stop lying to themselves. You have no idea what's coming. You have no idea that salvation's around the corner.
Nope. Because
none of these characters have plot armor. That's the thing. No one has plot armor in real life.
They never give you clues either that they're right behind them either.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so much better at that ending, because you're like, oh my gosh, if they would have waited. But it's like, if they would have waited, they didn't know they were right behind them. They didn't know the circumstances if they didn't pull the trigger or kill themselves. And that's the greatest part about this ending, because it's when life gives you lemons, you either make orange juice or lemonade, and you get to pick which one, pretty much.
Exactly.
And if people get mad at this ending, it's because they want, I don't know if they want happy endings or they want a predictable ending. And I am so down for not predictable endings, because I love it when movies kill off a character within like the first 5 minutes who I think is the main character. And you're like, oh, all right, let's keep it going then, because it's it's an unpredictable. And that's what I love about movies, is sometimes they can be predictable, sometimes they can be unpredictable, and I love those unpredictable movies.
But it is realistic.
Yes.
That's what people are going to do in that situation, which I really like.
Yes.
Alrighty, Kevin, it is your pick this week, so why don't you go ahead and give us your final thoughts and score.
Final thoughts. This movie is fantastic. Yes, it does have some drawbacks, especially with the CGI in this movie. It absolutely did not age well at all. I wish they would have focused more on the mist aspect of it being the creature itself, instead of, well, like the tentacles were cool, but the mist itself being so eerie and unknown. I would have loved to see a little bit more of that. Another thing is Miss Carmody is fantastic in this movie. You hate her, you kind of agree with her, and then you just despise her at the end of this. Great acting by her actress. But the end of this movie, you either hate it or you love it. But I absolutely loved it because it was unpredictable. So I gave it an 89 out of 100, which accumulates to 4 stars out of 5.
Alrighty. For me, I think that this movie is an exercise in wasted potential. I think it could have been something a lot more in dealing with the microcosm of humanity that's inside of the store. I think that by focusing on the creature feature aspects of it, it does kind of undersell what the movie could have been. And I think if you lowered the budget on the visual effects by not having monsters in it and put that money into better actors, I think this could have been one of the better Stephen King adaptations, a just kind of real methodical look at humanity. But from what we got, it's got one of my favorite endings in film history. It does also have some really good performances, especially from Marcia Gay Harden in this movie. So for me, I think it's a good movie, not great, mostly okay, I would say. So I gave it a 68 out of 100, which equates to 3 stars out of 5 on Letterboxd. But of course, that is going to be it for this episode of Movie Club. What did you think of The Mist? Make sure you let us know down in the comment section down below. But remember, be respectful, because someone else out there could be the Mrs. Carmody to your David. But next week we're going to be concluding our coverage of Spooky Month with the horror comedy Death Becomes Her, which I'm really excited to check out for the first time. Which I don't think Kevin's seen it either. So
nope, I have
really excited to check it out. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and all those wonderful things. We do have this show that goes live every single Friday at 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And of course, our live streams on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you so much for joining us. And until next time, make sure to keep those eyes on the screen.